Hello to all my fellow fashionistas. It's Nicole of Nicole Rachel Personal Stylists. Personal stylists for both pageant contestants and women executives, specifically women who find themselves in the spotlight and want to own the spotlight in any room that they walk in. Today, I will be covering my favorite looks from the top 10 of the Miss Planet International finals. And these looks are going to go in ascending order, meaning that I'll start with my least favorite look and work my way up to my top one favorite look. And if you like this kind of content, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss an episode. And also, if you are a pageant contestant, I wrote this episode with you in mind. And if you find pageant wardrobe daunting, which it really can be, and it really can weigh heavy into how the judges perceive you, then please do not hesitate to hit the link in my description to schedule a service from me. So, without further ado, here is my list. So at number 10, I have Japan. And I feel like what really made this gown my least favorite was a combination of the rhinestones, which were very heavy, mixed with the feathers. They were just displaced. And I really think it was the placement of the feathers on the gown and how big the feathers were. It didn't flow to me. And I'm always an advocate for mixing and matching prints and materials on stage, as it really does help to enhance the appearance of your gown, but this was a case of it gone wrong, as, like I said, there was no flow. The rhinestones were very noticeable, as were the feathers, and they clashed, and the feathers were just a bit too big, and they didn't look right where they were placed on the gown, so hence why I placed her at number 10. But overall, she seemed to have good stage presence, and she seemed to walk with ease in this gown, so that was very important. 9, I had Miss Planet Timor-Leste. And this gown, while the color was very vibrant and beautiful and it looked great on her, it was an emerald green, it's not a look we typically see on the pageant stage, and not necessarily in a good way. I feel like the way the sleeves were made and how the gown billowed out at the bottom, it was giving more ball gown than it was appropriate for a pageant stage. And it didn't really have that element that made it shimmer and dance underneath the stage lighting on stage. So I feel like she missed the mark there. So at number 8, I have Miss Planet USA. Now this wasn't anything new or anything innovative that we haven't already seen. As a matter of fact, I feel like I have seen another international contestant wear this very gown. And it really didn't stand out to me. It shimmered beautifully, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting more. As a matter of fact, I felt like the gown that she wore for prelims actually looked better than this gown. And it came across looking a bit unfinished, as the slip underneath the actual dress cut off, I think it was either mid-thigh or at her knees. And anytime a gown does that, it just really does look unfinished. It looks better when the slip comes all the way down, the same length as the dress over it. So for number 7, I have Mauritius. It was beautiful. Now, did it stand up to my top 5 gowns? Not necessarily. It was rather on the safe side, hence why I placed her at number 7. But it was still a beautiful gown, and it looked beautiful on stage due to all the rhinestones and beading that was on it. But it was rather on the safe side, given the design and the silhouette and the way it was made. So for number 6, Miss Planet Ireland. I loved all the dramatic details on this gown. The collar was dramatic and very regal. The beading was beautiful, and the placement of it on the bodice cinched her at the waist. I also loved the updo with the dramatic collar. It looked very regal. So at number 5, I have Algeria. This was yet another safe pageant gown. What stood out about it most was the color, as it was a beautiful, vibrant purple. The feather bow was also a nice added touch without it taking away from the gown. The sparkle and the applique flowers gave the gown details to enhance its overall stage presence. So at number 4, I have Miss Planet US Virgin Islands. This was a very elevated look for the stage. I love the collar and how it was off the shoulder, and the flowers that added very dramatic detail that really brought all the attention to her face. And I love how, because the collar was so dramatic and over the top, she had her hair up in an updo so it wouldn't take away from the collar, and it shimmered all throughout the gown thanks to the beautiful beading. And this was just a very elevated look that had great stage presence. Miss Planet France. So she came at number 3, and she wore a gown that had a very similar silhouette and color to what she wore for prelims, and really, to be quite honest, it worked in her favor. She looked beautiful in this gown. The silhouette accentuated her figure, gave her an hourglass figure, made her look proportionate. The color, again, the pastel purple, it was like a lilac or lavender shade. It went great against her tan skin tone. At number 2, we have the winner, Miss Planet Cambodia, who is now Miss Planet International. So congratulations to her. And what stood out about her gown is a couple of things. One, the beading and how it contrasted the rhinestones with the liquid beading. That really helped to elevate this from a typical beaded pageant gown, the mixing and matching of that. And then also how the beading was placed on her hips and waist. It helped to make her look proportionate and snatched on stage. And also the fact that it was a combination of the silhouette and the way the beading was placed that really helped to make this go from your average pageant gown to one that looked more elevated. And last, but certainly not least, at number 1, I have Miss Planet Mexico. Her gown looked ethereal on stage. It flowed beautifully when she walked and had beautiful accents that made it stand out. The draping combined with the beading and the way the shoulder was made on one side of the gown gave enhancements that were very eye-catching. White also looked great on her. Please let me know in the comments section who was your favorite look from the top 10, or your favorite looks if there was more than one, if you agree or disagree with my placement. So that's all for today, and like I said at the beginning, please make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and I will talk to you all later.